to our first call to the public. Is there anyone that would like to address the committee at this time? Hearing none. We're going to move into our community development monthly reports from Peter Preston.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Where to put the list? There we go. 26 zoning permits, 29 building permits. 3 of those building permits were new residential construction, and then we only have 17 enforcement actions. We're going through one of our audits right now, and so we don't necessarily put pushing a piece of paper across the desk as an action. So that's why we're a little late this month. We are working with the magistrate's office to get civil infractions moving just a little quicker than we had them go. We wanted them to go through as a test, make sure we didn't overwhelm the system, and so we'll continue to meet with their office as well. That's all I have.
Good. Any questions?
Just one. Pete, what would you say are your two or three biggest challenges right now for your office? Is that too few?
No,
Make it your top 30.
Code enforcement is definitely one of those the bigger things because of the process. We do not want to end up on the front page of the paper by being too overly done, but we also don't want to be too lax. So walking that line is definitely the most difficult part of our job. Right now we're kind of in a lull. When things heat back up in the spring, administrative staff gets overwhelmed at times. Building inspectors are out constantly, and it's just the normal flow of work. But the code enforcement is number 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Appreciate you. Yep. All right, in that case, let's go ahead and move into our agenda items. Item A, we will entertain a motion to approve the grant extension with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources for the Henderson Park renovation project from 12/30/2021 through 2/6/30/2022 and authorize the board chair to sign all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support.
We'll call that up as okay, that's a motion.
Oh, yes, there's a motion, sorry.
Good, motion and support.
Yeah,
Items open. Yeah, sorry.
it's okay.
I can't make a motion, but
I know.
I would if
That's
I
what- Yeah.
This is just an extension.
Yeah.
Tim and his crew have made great progress on it this year, but there's still a few things that need to be finished that winter will hinder us on being able to complete. So it's no cost extension.
This is time extension.
Thank you. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of item A moving forward, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion will move forward. Now we will entertain a motion to approve the construction of a 200-foot by 60-foot climate control pole barn in an amount not to exceed $300,000.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
The motion and support, item B is open for discussion.
So I have some questions. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say, we have been looking at putting in a pole barn, and there's gonna be some amount of need for record retention, storage, so it'd be climate controlled. With that, Tim Hill is here to answer questions about the bids that he's received, as well as some additional background, because this would be under his department's purview.
So my questions, so as I looked at the bids, I see that the one that we have from Lineman or Linman Construction doesn't have a total on it. Yes. The one from Country Boy has a total, but I see that that one includes no climate control. That looks like it's just a bare structure when I read the list of materials. And frankly, the one from Linman doesn't. So the one from Perrin does have climate control items there, the furnace, etc. And that one is substantially more than $300,000, more than twice that much. So can you help us? Like, this one doesn't, the one from Perrin doesn't include windows. I don't feel like these other two are just complete bids with all of the specs that you would need.
The second page isn't here on this, Tim. It's
No,
like,
there,
was it
well, there,
267?
I don't know if there, I don't think there was a second page. What you got is kind of what they gave us.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, I was waiting today, I just got the one from Barrett
Okay.
today. I mean, like an hour ago.
Uh-huh.
So,
Right.
and it was way higher than what I really expected. The other part of it is, and I'm looking at these, and you're right, some of them don't, but some of this stuff we can do in-house, I think cheaper than what they can do when they're building it. The other part of it is, right now I was looking at it, and even with the liniments, if you look, I thought they had concrete into the bid at $278,000. They don't. That's another $60,000. And what we would do is probably bid that out from another private contractor, which I think we can get it for cheaper than that. Won't be a lot cheaper, but a little bit cheaper. The other part of it is, what we plan on doing is taking about 60 foot of that and putting a wall in and climate control about 60 by 60 of the building. And that way we can retain records, and if we need to, we can make it climate controlled, or else we can just leave it. I mean, some of our records right now are stored in just plain pole barns, but it's really up to the board's decision if they, I mean, we could make it climate controlled. I don't know if some of the records need climate control or not.
So that would require insulation?
A little bit, yeah, but what we would do at that point in time is bring in somebody that does spray foam, because it's a pole barn. The quickest way to insulate one of them would probably be to spray foam it, and then just the other, which is gonna be a little bit of cost, but, you know, the biggest part is getting the building up. Like I said, some of this could be done a little bit later, as far as, work being done, because to tell you the truth, we may put some lofts in too, and we could build them ourselves, or I could build them, as per se having them build them. Because that's why we're going 16 foot high, so we can have that extra room above, so if we want to, we put basically a second story in there and put more records up there if we have to. 'Cause to tell you the truth, I don't know if just doing 60 by 60 area that's just flat would be enough room.
So bare bones, just getting the exterior structure up really with no climate control is gonna be 300,000. With no lofts, with no
Pretty
finishing,
close.
probably no concrete, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's gonna be more than.
It's gonna go a little bit more, actually with the concrete, I think you can do it for 350, you know.
But not climate control then?
Well, no, I bet we probably could come close, because if we did it in-house, we, you know. And I'm not sure if everything, I really gotta go through and talk to them, cause I haven't sat down and went through every line item that they have, and do we need it or not, is what I'm saying too.
I don't have a total on Country Boys, and not listening.
Well, it's right there, and that's the other
You
thing I
have
was
to
gonna
add the two
say.
together, yeah.
Even with like the Country Boys, that's 178,000 or 180,000 rounded off. You know, but if you took that bid, put up the building,
Yeah.
you got you put 60,000 into concrete, you put the wall in and stuff. I bet you can probably be real close to 300,000.
But isn't their bid here, there's 178,900 plus 109,500?
No.
What is
The
that?
109.5 was for a 60 by 120 by 16 building.
Okay, I see now.
That wasn't for the 200 by 60.
So that's just a really roughed in building.
That's just basically you have your walls and you have your roof. And you have your doors, I think, in there.
That's a farm.
Yeah. Far as the climate control, right now, we could use, there's one wing, or two wings maybe, at the Griffin Home that we could use for some storage. That one wing isn't used at all, even if we use one wing for the vets. I mean, this is all up in the air, we didn't even know the vets.
I was thinking the same thing, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, far as, it's good to put up the building, but then maybe 2 years down the road or 4 years down the road, we might need to, petition some off from some more storage or records. And maybe the records, we're gonna put them all on, a disc or whatever they got.
Going to be that lucky.
I
But, you
can't
know.
imagine we're going to do that.
Huh?
I can't imagine we're gonna digitize all those records.
Well,
It's gonna get
who
right
knows? I mean, it might be cheaper in the
That would
long run
cost
to
more
build
than
it
the building.
than building a building. I mean, we don't laugh at it, but
I don't think the building's primary use, correct me if I'm wrong, is for record storage.
No.
It was sort of an afterthought that since we have all these records.
It would be a
capital,
spot to help.
Yeah.
And that is a possibility.
Right.
If I may jump in on a couple of thoughts on this.
A
Yes,
big part of it's for
it's for
a spot for the trucks,
mostly for equipment storage.
equipment,
Is that correct? Yes.
the plows. I mean, right now our plows sit out
Yes.
all year long. Even
But
when I went to put them on this winter, you know, you're putting them on the outside. It would have been nice if they would have been inside, but
So just some other considerations. The Griffin Home was mentioned. We have not really come up as a group with a plan for what we're gonna do with that building. We're jumping ahead and kind of committing ourselves to this. When we do have quite a bit of space over there, that there's some, you know, disadvantages to using up what could eventually be space for people just to store records in. Maybe we don't want to do that, maybe we do. I'm not sure, so that consideration is out there. And a larger consideration to me is, just in speaking to someone today who does a lot of this sort of thing, I guess construction costs are really, really high right now with supply shortages and everything else. Is this right now a wise thing to do, or should we be waiting 6 or 8 months? I mean, I agree we need a pole barn, but are we jumping in this at the worst time of the market, like buying a house right now when things are so expensive? Are we constructing something that, while it would be nice to have, maybe we'll do better in 6 or 8 months? And maybe we'll have a better overall plan now that we're just getting into what we're gonna do with the Griffin Home, with our space needs. Obviously, we're not gonna store your plow in the
well,
Griffin Home.
the other part of it is that I really don't foresee this happening until probably next year at some point in time anyway. Which by that time, prices may come down some.
Maybe.
Is this in the budget?
No, this would be ARPA funds. That's the only way that the county could ever afford to build a building like this.
Yeah.
There's not enough revenue, in this year's budget or next year's budget to do it in any other way. However, that is one of the things that we could use. some of those.
And chances are, everything coming down a lot or very, somewhat slim, but my idea is, like him, check it out more in this next summer, or when fall comes, or spring, I mean, and then get more nailed down then.
Yeah, I just don't feel like we need to move on this right now. I'd like to see a more detailed
Yeah, I agree with you.
budget, bill of materials, all of that kind of stuff that has some consistency and we decide what we need and what we want.
Discussion.
What do we need for storage? What volume are we talking about? What kind of climate control is needed and all that kind of thing?
Because my understanding is part of the reason that we need this, I think you told me, Tim, was we perhaps didn't build enough last time when we built the drain.
No, we don't have any place for trucks or any storage.
And that apparently got scaled back at some point, the plans for that.
Yeah.
Perhaps we are rushing into this a bit, at least that's my feeling. We're approving this.
Well, I can get you better figures
But again-
as we go, but like I said, it was kinda hard because, I mean, even Perrin didn't come in with their bid until an hour ago.
Mhm.
And that could change by next year, or spring.
It could. But the other part of it is, I don't foresee us putting anything up until next year anyway.
I'd like to see us table this.
I would not wanna table it. I wanna vote no,
Okay.
because I hate this idea. Spending ARPA funds, $300,000 on this for a garage, for records, get rid of the records. This is an outrage to me, to
Well, that
even
was, I
see
think-
this in front of me.
I think that was one of our comments, is we need to find out what we really need for storage before we build storage.
Yeah, cause tabling it to me means it's a possibility later, and I don't even want it later. I don't ever want a pole barn to go in our county again. Because we didn't do a good job the first time we built a pole barn and think ahead. And I'm not using ARPA funds, I'll never vote yes to use ARPA funds on a garage, not gonna happen. So, that's just me, I'm 1 out of 7, but I'm a hard no.
Call the vote.
You wanna vote or you wanna table it?
Let's vote.
Alright. Any other comments? comments?
I'd like to table it, so.
We do have a motion to table. We do not have a second to table. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't bring it up another time, but right now I have to have a vote that says I'm a no.
So then we need to vote on the motion.
And the motion is for item B to approve the construction. And I will call that vote. All in favor of moving item B forward to a second vote on Wednesday, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, say aye.
Aye.
And so item B will fail, at least until further notice. And now we'll move into item C. We'll entertain a motion to approve the waiver of a building permit for Shiawassee Township to build their new ramp for their township building.
I make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
This is a pretty standard thing that when we oversee someone's building and zoning, if the municipality themselves pulls a permit, we waive the fee for that.
And it is, I've seen it, I've walked on it, it's a handicapped ramp that they do need to hold elections in their township halls, so.
Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none. All in favor of moving item C forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. And Dr. Boggs, it's my understanding that item B is no longer under consideration. Item B.
Correct. The drain commissioner would like that put on in January. He's gonna bring it back. He has some additions he wants to make to it.
All right, any opposed to not discussing item D today on our committee? All right. In that case, we'll drop item D from consideration, and we'll move into our second call for the public to address the committee, if there are any. All right, hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
Pardon?
We'll get this meeting started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, this, yeah, no, this is yours. to the public? Anyone? Nope. All right, we'll move right into our agenda items. I would entertain a motion that we approve the MSU Extension Services for 2022 and authorize the board chair to sign the agreement.
Support.
Second, third.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Any discussion?
Just to note, this is their annual contract that the board renews every year with MSU to outline the services provided.
Okay. So I guess we have no one there. We'll assume that all is well across the street. All those in favor of moving this forward signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the same.
Oh, Mark may come and address you guys tomorrow. He could not be here tonight.
Oh,
Mark Rankin.
okay. Yep, that's fine, or even later in the week. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the grant agreement between the Shiawassee County Health Department and the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy for environmental health services in the amount of $35,230 for the period of 10/1/2021 through 9/30/2022.
So moved.
Support? All right, moved and supported. Anything on this?
Just a renewal of our agreement with Eagle for our environmental services that include campground inspections, public drinking water, septic pumping tanks, number of environmental services. So, just not a big agreement, but helps cover some of our costs.
This is income.
Income.
coming in.
Which we always like to see.
All right, well, that sounds good. Anything further? All those in favor of moving this forward signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the same. That motion will move along. Our next item, item C, I would entertain a motion that we approve the contract between the Shiawassee County Health Department and ALZY Environmental Services LLC for registered sanitarian services in the amount of $37 per hour for an average of 24 hours per week for a period of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, should be 2021.
No, January 1st, 22 to.
Oh, December 31st, 2022. Okay.
Support.
All right, moved and supported.
Have you got anybody, Larry, or?
Yeah, this is Steve. He retired from our department this year in January. He came back as a contract employee part-time. And he's doing a good job on the schedule, and we decided to renew it mutually because it's working for us right now. It's saving on the long run because he's no longer an employee, he's a contractual worker for us. So it's working good.
Thanks.
All right, anybody have anything else? All right, all those in favor of moving that forward signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the same. And that motion will move along to Wednesday. Our last agenda item, I would entertain a motion to approve the contract between the Shiawassee County Health Department and Dr. Dennis Chernin for medical director services in the amount of $38,500 for the period of 1/1/2022 through 12/31/2022.
Support.
All right, so we are
Dr.
with
Chairman,
Larry again?
it'll be year number 36 for Dr. Chernin.
Wow.
I think the last 2 years have been the hardest working for him. We're happy he'll stay eventually. It's gonna be a sticker shock when we have to replace him someday. So, the Board of Health will be doing a discussion about how much it costs for a medical director. I'm getting some figures so that we have a comparison, but he is a very good deal for our health department. So, he came to us in 1986. I was pretty young then.
All right, anybody have anything else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. That motion moves along, which brings us to our second call to the public. Seeing no one, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.